This is Zach here from Stable Dash. We're with Guillermo from Dorado. We're kicking off our Neo segment powered by Dakota. This is covering everything Neo finance and the future of banking.
Stable Dash Live is sponsored by Agora, built for global institutions moving money at the speed of the internet. You can learn more at agora.finance.
And it's perfect timing because at the stablecoin conference today, powered by Bitso, you had some exciting news. So Guillermo, maybe tell the people what happened today, and we'll kind of dive into more of the nitty gritty because I like how you paired fundraise announcement, spoiler alert, with a product announcement as well. So yeah, tell us what happened.
Well, Zach, thank you so much for the invite. I'm a big fan of the show for quite some time and super excited to be here. So we just announced a Series A round led by Paradigm and with Coinbase Ventures participating. Awesome. It's a $9 million round, and we tied the round announcement with the launch of Dorado Business, which is a multisig neobank built on Tempo. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about that.
So as much as I want to just dive straight into Tempo, you mentioned out here before we hopped on that the focus has been so much around consumer apps. You know, I'm seeing more and more apps. Some are launching business banking solutions, but I guess walk us through kind of the evolution of where Dorado started, where you got your foothold on the consumer side, and why now? Why is the time now to go to the business side?
Excellent. So going back to the early days, I'm originally from Venezuela. I started mining Bitcoins back from home in 2013. Actually, my first Bitcoin miner was the Antminer S1. Wow. I don't know if you remember that one.
Was that a struggle to get in Venezuela, or was that a story in and of itself?
It was certainly not easy. So we figured out that Venezuela was actually a pretty good country to do Bitcoin mining since electricity was nearly free at the time. So we started importing miners directly from Bitmain, and we got super excited, went on to raise a few angel checks and eventually built one of the biggest Bitcoin mining businesses in the country, which I successfully sold in 2017. So that was kind of my first experience into the Bitcoin world. It was Bitcoin.
Or even like that founder journey of like, hey, I catch it onto something, want to build it up and to exit. So congrats there.
Absolutely. But I was always fascinated with exchanges. I was an early user of LocalBitcoins.com. At some point, it became quite popular in Venezuela, in Colombia, Argentina, and some other LatAm countries. And then with the rise of stablecoins, it really made so much sense for us to build like a stablecoin first application and built upon the building blocks that we learned from LocalBitcoins and Binance Peer-to-Peer. So we built the very first tropicalized peer-to-peer marketplace with USDT as the main asset. So we were actually one of the first startups in LatAm that launched USDT on Tron. Wow. At the time, that was what most people were demanding, and we launched the app in late 2021, early 2022.
And this is Dorado.
This is the Dorado app.
OG.
This is the Dorado app. And eventually the ambition got bigger and bigger, and we started adding more financial products and services. And long story short, today we have a Visa debit card. We have QR payments across 5 LatAm countries. We have virtual dollar accounts. We have investments, and we also provide cross-border payments across 12 LatAm countries.
And if I saw you're actually focused on some geos that we don't cover quite frequently. Like I think I saw Bolivia, Ecuador, Paraguay. Is that still kind of the case when we're transitioning maybe into the business focus, or are there other geos that are sticking out right now?
That's correct. So we've rapidly become one of the top financial apps in many of the countries that you just mentioned. Like for instance, in Bolivia, we're consistently ranked among the 5 or 10 most popular financial applications, and we're consistently ranked among some of the most important banks. So having that kind of presence is also clearing the way for us to also offer services to businesses. So our own clients were already requesting business services, and that's kind of
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was going to ask,
Yeah.
were your consumer, clients on the app? Did you catch some of them maybe using it for business purposes? And that was kind of the early signs that, okay, I think we need to bring this new product to market.
Absolutely. We have a bunch of people doing things like drop shipping, a bunch of importers, people who buy things from Alibaba, from all of these Temu, all of these like Chinese, like B2B commerce platforms, and that was a use case that became pretty clear to us. And I think that the other side of the story, it is really that we built this product to ourselves. So, and let me give you more color about how we thought about building El Dorado Business. But we have raised nearly 95% of our funds in stablecoins.
Wow!
So managing stablecoins, even for a crypto native startup like ourselves, is pretty complex. So you have maybe a safe. And then you have a safe with a threshold connected with multiple ledgers. And then if we wanted to pay to our lawyers in the US, we needed to reach out to an OTC desk in Miami or in Puerto Rico. And then we needed to send the money to the OTC, and then from the OTC to the lawyers. And then if we needed to pay for Amazon Web Services, we needed to like open like a different account for having a card. And at some point we said to ourselves, like, this is insane. Like, how is it possible that in crypto today the only multi-sig solutions are Safe, MPC Vault, and Squats? I love those teams, and I believe they're doing great things, but there's the opportunity gap for building a much more like fintech oriented solution is huge, especially if you're targeting Bolivian businesses.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, we love Stefan and the Altitude team, and they've been great supporters of the brand, and we definitely don't buy into that it's a winner take all market here, especially when you're talking about these geos that look very similar. We say LatAm, and we're like, well, you realize we're lumping in how many countries into that one word, and everybody has their own unique needs. Use cases may even sound similar with importers and exporters, but again, what they're looking for from a fintech experience may be different in Bolivia than maybe what they're looking for in Thailand or Vietnam if we're going to go complete opposite emerging market. One thing I'm excited about, like I said, and I think you mentioned this when you reached out to us, was, hey, we're also launching on Tempo. I see Tempo on my timeline all the time, but this was probably the first time I've seen it on a more either like, it's obviously not a consumer app, but application for businesses rather than being, purely another infrastructure provider. So I guess help us understand from a product perspective, maybe when did Tempo come under your radar, and why did you say, hey, this is who we're launching on. This is our home.
Excellent. So we've been working with the Paradigm team for over a year and a half, nearly 2 years. So we knew already plenty of the Tempo folks. We know that they're like some of the smartest folks in the crypto space, and they're also pretty payments oriented. Like the fact that Matt sits on the board of Stripe already opens so many doors in terms of like corporate relationships and also know-how in terms of building payment products. But when we decided to build this product, we knew that there was a big synergy in terms of leveraging a payments first blockchain. And then we became overly excited about the fact that they are building so many tools and such a good stack for the next wave of agentic payments. So that was kind of how the decision came through.
And what about on the Forex side? Because I think they also have some native stablecoin swaps built in. Did that affect your decision, or is that right now it's still so young that it's like, hey, we just need to focus on dollar access?
Yeah, totally. For instance, a cool feature on Tempo is that you get to pay transaction fees on stablecoins, on a set of stablecoins, and it's a fixed fee. So that's especially important because if you're like offering your service to a business client, like business clients don't understand about like gas fees. And and let me tell you something, like operating with Tron for so many years, like customers still don't understand why does it cost $1 at a certain point, and sometimes it costs like $5.
You gotta love when the network's congested.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool about Tempo. I think that the Forex side is still pretty early, to be honest. There are probably other chains with more developed, let's say, local stablecoin liquidity. But we see that Tempo is definitely driving in that direction.
Can you speak to privacy at all? And what is maybe Tempo building in this realm? Because I think we're seeing this along with, Solana. We've had people say, hey, privacy controls coming. We've obviously seen the rise of Canton. What role does Tempo maybe play in building out these privacy-centric features?
Yeah, that's a pretty important piece of the Tempo roadmap. I don't know if privacy is already enabled, but they've been working on it for the past few months. The team is led by this guy Georgios, who is the CTO of Paradigm as well. So he's been one of the main guys building the privacy layer on Tempo.
Yeah. You mentioned forward thinking as far as agentic, and I imagine you're talking about their MPP. Is that something that we should look forward to in the product? Is this something that that right now at the base level that you need to be preparing for? Because I think that's something we spend a lot of time trying to decipher is, where are we at in this growth cycle of the agentic conversation? You see these numbers growing. Is it real? Is it not? How do you think about agentic, maybe the intersection of business banking and agentic commerce?
Yeah, I think that we're still in the very, very early stages, and honestly, our business clients are not even requesting like agents to pay for themselves. But I do think that eventually, especially the agentic payments driven by corporate cards is going to be a big deal. Tempo has a massive relationship with Bridge and Rain.
Pretty heavily.
So I've been seeing some pretty interesting use cases, such as giving some instructions to a card to manage token spend for AI models. So those are things that seem to be quite utopic, but those things are coming over the next few months or a couple of years.
I guess last question as we get ready to wrap here. You mentioned importers and exporters, but I'm wondering, in this time building and getting ready to go with the business banking, have you had any client types that have come to you and that completely shocked you? Hey, this kind of wasn't on our radar, but we're excited to see that these are people that are now thinking about stablecoins and looking to us as a solution.
Absolutely. So one of my favorite examples is actually a textile business from Paraguay who actually moves over the border to Argentina. They sell their products in Argentine pesos. They then go and buy USDT or USDC, and then they swap again to Guaranis in Paraguay. So these are the types of businesses that you would have never expected to be using stablecoins even 2 or 3 years ago. So really, I mean, we are here at a stablecoin conference, and that's why we are leading with the multisig communications and so on. Right. But to our businesses in Spanish, we talk in a completely different language and with a completely different tagline or one-liner. So they don't care too much about multisig. They just care about having access to a truly global account that they can use for their international operations.
So then what would your go-to-market motion look like with this banking? How do you get on other textile businesses' radars? Are we, because I think on one hand, we're in this space and we think, the Twitter marketing and an AEO, but do you think there's a place in these local economies where it's going back to billboards, I don't know, newspaper ads? How do you get on a textile business's radar?
Well, after this trip, I'm actually flying to Santa Cruz de la Sierra in Bolivia, because we're opening one of the first neobank
brick and mortar
offices in the world. So
wow,
we're pretty excited about that. People, both regular individuals and also business owners, will be able to attend to our office on a Monday through Saturday basis to solve any kind of issue or to process payments to China or to simply request information about El Dorado. So we're doing different stuff than we used to do on our consumer application. But the fact that we already have a pretty strong consumer brand with over 1 million customers is also pretty significant. Yeah. We do a lot of TikTok.
I imagine some of them own businesses.
Yeah, exactly. We do a lot of TikTok. We're pretty big on TikTok.
Really?
So yeah.
I'll have to go look that up because we're thinking about those same things, and I love this kind of this emergence of like going back to the basics in a way when it comes to go to market sometimes. So maybe we'll have to plan a Stable Dash offsite in Bolivia and go see some of these meetings in person. You'd
be surprised. I mean, you can buy Toyota Bolivia accepts USDT directly.
Wow.
For instance.
That's getting my content wheels spinning. Maybe we got to go buy a truck down there. Awesome. Well, Guillermo, it's great to sit down with you. This is, we're excited to kick off the neobanking segment here on Stable Dash Live, powered by Dakota. So thanks for sitting down with us today, and congrats. We'll be right back. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with some more interviews from the Stablecoin conference and CDMX powered by Bitso. So see you next time.